Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fantastic episode of U.F.O Snap. I am Jake, of course.
I'm Lindsay.
And we are in Season 2!
It's fucking Season 2 already.
We made it to Season 2. Oh my goodness, guys. This is very exciting. So for those of you, as long as you're keeping up, Season 1 was pretty much a chronological order of everything that's happened U.F.O, for the most part, high level, from Roswell, 1947, all the way up till today. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now, Season 2 is going to change a little bit, guys. It's going to be not as so in a timeline chronological order. Chronological. I think I said crotchological.
Crotchological.
That's crotchological. Is that like when something makes sense, but that something is a penis and or vagina?
It's crotchological.
That's crotchological. Hey, you're making a lot of crotchologic. Anyways, it's not going to go in chronological order of any sorts. What it's going to be is each episode is going to be a story that we're going to dive into of some sort of notoriety in the phenomena of the conspiracy, U.F.O, UAP, all of that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Sort of like the Bob Lazar episode, but not so much. But Bob was important to the crotchological.
There's a lot of crotchological things in the Bob Lazar story. There are a few.
Well, he was a pimp.
Yeah, the honeysuckle.
The honeysuckle. Come on down to the honeysuckle. We'll get you a girl and a UFO and fucking develop your film and all kinds of shit. Mm-hmm. Put a fucking rocket on the back of your Honda Civic. Because Bob did that.
Yep.
Yeah. Made rocket cars.
He did.
But this isn't about Bob.
No.
What about Bob? That's a movie. Yeah, so this isn't about Bob. This is going to be... I'm very excited about today.
Okay.
So this is a very famous story in the world of UFOs. Mm-hmm. So much so that there's a movie being made about it right now. I think for Netflix.
Okay.
But the crazy part is the production company who optioned it and is making it is Barack Obama is production company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting wrinkle.
Yeah. He's
Former president
so
finances UFO abduction story.
Let me tell you about the UFOs. They're here and they're coming for you. And I'm going to make a movie about it. Check it out. So this is the story
Ooh.
of Betty and Barney Hill.
Betty and Barney.
Betty and Barney.
Rubble.
You know, I was wondering if people were going to say that. And no. Benny and Barney Hill. No, damn, yeah, Betty and Barney. Well, who's Benny?
Benny Hill.
Benny Hill? Oh.
Oh,
yeah, Benny Hill.
Yeah, that little...
Yeah. And then you get...
Ditty.
Well, Benny
and lots of big-breasted women.
Well, Benny in the Jets.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to think the words in that song were, she had electric boobs.
It kind of sounds like that.
She had electric boobs a lot of day.
Well, and it's a believable line.
Betty and Barney Hill. So let me take you back.
Okay.
This one happened a while ago, okay? So this actually is the first... Let's get serious for a second.
Okay.
This actually is the first, real record abduction.
Okay.
Abduction. By a UFO. I mean, people have been abducted before this. Abduction's not a new thing. People get abducted all the time, and they've been abducted for the end of time. Uh-huh. But this was the first one from an alien.
Oh. Alien abduction.
Alien abduction. On record, anyways. Okay. So, let me take you back. We're going to go back to September 19th, 1961.
Oh, wow. We're going way back.
Way back. And it is of note that Betty, very lovely Caucasian woman, and Barney was a very lovely African-American gent.
Okay.
And we're in 1961. So, just take that for what it's worth. We're going to go to September 19th. Betty and Barney Hill, they're driving home from a vacation in Canada.
Okay.
All right, so they went up fucking north. They wanted to get their Tim Hortons on. They wanted a double-double.
Get some poutine.
And fucking 20 Timbits and some poutine and watch the hockey there, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're going to go have some Molsons there and watch the hockey and, be a hell of a good time, eh? So they're coming back, right? And so they're driving back home. And on the way back home, around 10 p.m., they reported seeing a strange object in the sky. Now, normally they wouldn't have been out overnight driving.
Okay.
They would have waited till the next day. But there was a hurricane coming. And so they wanted to get back home before the hurricane came.
Okay.
So they decided to drive overnight. So they're driving overnight. They see a strange thing in the sky. So they pull over. And they bust out their binoculars and they're looking at it and they're trying to figure out, what the fuck is this thing? I'm sure that's what they said. Especially back in 1960.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck is this thing? I said that almost like they were they weren't Canadian, mind you. This is like they were like in New York or something at this point. Oh, what the fuck is that thing there, eh? No, it's the U.F.O. So they're looking, they're looking at this thing. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing, right? And as they keep going, so they look at it, whatever. They get in the car and they meander back through, right?
Okay.
Well, then this thing starts following them.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Not only does it follow them, is it goes in front of them. And it lands on the road right in front of their car. Okay? So, they said that they remember seeing, as they got out and kind of looked, humanoid figures around the car coming from the ship. Aliens came out of the fucking ship.
Like gray men?
Yeah. So, and apparently they appeared to be wearing like a uniform or like a suit. Like a silver thing.
Like a jumpsuit?
Like a jumpsuit. And this is stuff that we've heard before. People have, reported this with other incidences. Now, they said that something weird happened and they became paralyzed. They couldn't move. And the creatures came and they took them. They later reported saying that when they took them, they went under a bunch of physical and psychological examinations by the figures, including having samples taken of their skin and their hair. And after they came back, they reported all kinds of crazy shit happening after. They said they had weird symptoms, memories. They were missing time. They had weird marks on their bodies and vivid dreams and flashbacks, right? Because they black out, it's fuzzy, right? This bothered them so much that they went to a psychiatrist to look for help. And so what the guy said, because they're trying to piece it together, was let's do some fucking
hypnosis?
Hypnotherapy, just some hypnosis, right? Try to remember what happened. So under hypnosis, Betty and Barney were able to recall more details about the abduction and the figures who took them. At first, now mind you, the psychologist didn't believe him, right? It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous story. But after various sessions over like 6 months, he went on record and says, I think they're credible.
He thinks they're telling the truth.
He thinks they're telling the truth. His professional opinion is they're telling the truth. So, okay. So you're in the 1960s. You're coming back home. And these fucking things land.
Yes.
And they come out. And then you lose track of time, right? And I guess this, according to the story, it was like 10 o'clock, and then they did the math, right? And according to the math, they lost 2 hours of time.
2 hours.
Yeah. From the point that when they left where they were going to the point that they got home, and how much time it should have taken, there's 2 hours missing.
Okay.
So all this shit happened in 2 hours. But they don't know. They don't remember 2 hours being missing. It's gone. The time's gone, right? This became one of the most famous UFO abduction stories, of all time. It's way.
I've never heard it.
Seriously?
I'd never heard it. I don't think I'd ever heard it.
Oh man, it's a crazy one. Especially if you get into it, there's some really good documentaries that actually have archival footage.
Really?
Of them talking about it. Well, she talks about it quite a bit. There's lots of interviews and stuff and not. But yeah, the shrink was like, no, I believe these guys.
Yeah.
That's your credit. For a therapist to be like, no.
Yeah, and I mean, I know there's a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but there is some controversy about the validity of hypnotherapy and if that can plant false memories, things like that. So, I mean, I don't know if I 100% buy into that part of it, but they were saying these things happened. They were missing time and stuff before they even started hypnotherapy.
Right. And so, because what it happened is...
So something obviously happened.
That drive should have taken 4 hours from where they were started to where they were going, and it took 6. So that's the math that they did. So something fucking happened, right? Now... Here's how the Hills described the aliens they encountered. They said, like I said, look like humanoids in jumpsuits. They had some distinct physical features. Here's how they described them, right? They said they had very large, slanted eyes that seemed to be capable of glowing or flashing different colors.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So when I first heard that, I was like, very large, slanted eyes. The grays, right? The black slanted eyes. But then it's like different colors. I've never heard that one.
No, me either.
It's like the Wizard of Oz, like the horse of
a different color.
Horse of a different color, yeah, but it's a fucking alien of a different color. Huh.
Yeah, I never heard that before.
No. So, would you say that in the Wizard of Oz, you remember the moment when after they fucking dye Dorothy's eyes? Okay, let's pause this for a second.
Yeah, they dye her eyes.
Yeah, can we fucking talk about that for a second? Like, I understand it's a UFO podcast, just fucking pause for a second, all right? Chris, just chill out.
Well, the thing is, isn't the line, can you even dye my eyes to match my gown? Is that the line? Wouldn't you dye your fucking gown to match your eye? I mean, if you want your eyes and your gown to match, you would think the easier thing to dye or the safer thing to dye would be the garment, not your fucking eyeballs.
Do you think in the
30s?
Do you think then?
No. What do you think that process would be in the 30s to dye the color of your eyes? They probably dropped strychnine straight in.
Do you think back then they even had any clue that there would actually that it would be something that could be done?
Yeah, color contacts, all that stuff. I mean, you could do it surgically now.
Yeah. I mean, they tattoo eyes.
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's gross.
It's
gross, man.
It takes a lot of balls, man.
I know a lot. I don't know them personally, but I've seen
so dangerous.
I've seen a lot of stories. People get it done and they're blind. They get blinded because of one little slip up.
Oh man.
Yeah. No thanks. No, thank you. But yeah, okay. Fucking thank you. Match my eye. That's weird.
No, it's crazy.
It's weird. Okay, one more thing about the fun fact. I'm gonna fuck up everybody right now who's listening's mind. Are you ready for this?
I don't know.
Are you ready? I want everybody who's listening. I want you to take a beat and I want you to really think back about The Wizard of Oz, the movie. Okay, I want you to think about how the plot line goes, and fucking she's in black and white, and the fucking
in color.
now she's in color, and they're walking down the fucking yellow brick road. Okay, and blah blah blah. Do any of you remember the fact that the Scarecrow has a fucking gun?
What?
A straight up holy shit. I need to fucking make it.
When does he have a gun?
When they're fucking walking through the scary forest. That dude is he's packing a gun.
He has a gun? I thought they just had like a net and I don't even it's been a while since I've watched it.
Yeah, okay. Oh god.
But I thought they just had like old-timey weapons.
No, okay. So I'm gonna I'm gonna put a link.
Scarecrow's fucking packing, man.
Hold on. I'm gonna put a link to this.
Strapped.
Swear to God. Hold on. I'm gonna put a link to this in the notes. I want everybody to fucking go and look at it.
If I only had a gun.
I'm gonna pull this up real quick. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna show it to you. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Okay. Are you ready for this?
I am so ready.
Okay. Here we go.
Let's do it.
We're gonna play it right now. Here we go. So we're in, for those of you following along at home.
We're in the evil forest.
We're in the evil fucking scary forest.
They're going to get the witch.
Yep. And we're slowly panning out. Oh, there's a
Haunted
sign.
forest. Witch's castle 1 mile. I'd turn back if I were you.
And I'd like you to pay close attention to his fucking hand where Dorothy's holding it.
He's got a gun.
He has a straight up revolver.
He's got a gun.
He has a.
Oh my god, he's got a gun.
You've never seen this?
No, it's like they've got a butterfly net and a big wrench and a big hammer, and he's got something else there, and then they got a fucking gun.
Straight up revolver.
Oh my god. Could you imagine that? He's just the Scarecrow going through the witch's castle, just John Wick style, murking winkies right and left.
We are. But look, he's straight up.
He's got a gun.
Yep. Oh, yep. They threw the. Yep.
They
still has.
the Tin Man. He still got the gun.
You look at him, just fucking. Oh, I got my gun here.
I do believe in spooks. I do.
You do believe in spooks.
Yep. And then it goes right to the fucking.
I do.
So.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So there you go. You're welcome.
Scarecrow's got a gun.
So if you've never, I remember like the first time I saw that, I was like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've never noticed that.
I can't believe you've never noticed that.
I've never noticed that.
That one surprises me. That one surprises me. But yeah, and that fucked up. So there you go. The point I digress. The point I was making is, do you know on that scene when she's getting her eyes dyed, like a fucking weirdo, and they're like, they hear like, and they go out and they're like, what's that in the sky?
Yeah.
In that moment, is the Wicked Witch a UFO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an unidentified flying object. She's up there in her broom.
There it is. And there with her broom. So
Superman.
Oh yeah, big time.
Big UFO.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's fucking UFO. So they describe their skin as gray.
Okay.
So we're talking grays here.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen. We're talking grays. And they appeared to have smooth skin and be hairless. Yeah. Like a
smooth. Like a hairless cat.
Like a sphinx cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted one of those. I thought
me too.
And I wanted to name it Smeagol.
Smeagol?
Yes.
Like the Precious?
Yes.
My precious. My precious.
They kind of look like Gollum, Smeagol. A little bit. Precious. It looks like that's how they would sound if they talked too.
Did you know cats only meow because they like a people? Like they don't meow for each other?
Really?
Cats only meow to cause reactions out of humans, but they don't use it to communicate with each other whatsoever.
Huh.
It's literally a manipulation for people.
Cats are tricky, man.
There's a video online of a guy who has a cat and he's deaf. And the cat figures it out.
Oh yeah, he figures out how to
sign language to him. Yep, and that's why, because meowing is literally for people. It's not for cats. Manipulation. They're little monsters. Cats.
They are.
Can't trust them.
Can't.
They have an agenda, and they are pissed if you fuck it up. So, they said that they had a small nose and a small mouths, which is kind of interesting because sometimes when you hear about these grays, they don't have mouths or noses for that matter.
Usually in the drawings I've seen, because I haven't heard people talk about them, but I've seen a few of the drawings and they usually don't have mouths, and if they do, they're very small.
Yeah.
Very small.
Little slits.
Yeah.
Little slits.
Not very threatening or menacing.
They said they're slightly shorter than the average human, standing around 5 feet tall. Very slender build with long, thin fingers. They also said that they seem to communicate with each other using a series of clicks, chirps, and other sounds that were not recognizable of any language. Now that one's weird to me, right?
Yeah.
Because I would think, and based on a lot of incident reporting, that they would communicate with some sort of telekinesis or
telepathy.
Yeah, definitely. There's a really interesting case, and we'll get to it in a future episode about a school that had an encounter and there was telepathy involved.
Okay.
Very interesting. So, but they're the only ones that I've come across that say that they communicate with a series of clicks. All I can think of is like African tribes, and they're like,
yeah,
or how. But I don't know. It's the first time I've ever heard that is with these guys. So take that what you will.
Yeah, because I think I've heard a couple stories of them emitting some kind of sound, but never clicks.
Yeah, and the thing about grays too is there's a lot of speculation that they're not actually the aliens, that they're avatars.
Oh.
Yeah. So because a lot of them is they don't look like they they don't need to bang and impregnate, right? They can just 3D print one.
Really?
That's one of the theories. I mean, no one knows.
But they're just portraying themselves as an image that we can accept.
Maybe. I mean, or maybe that's just what their avatars look like, and they can just download their consciousness into it. That would also explain how, if there's any sort of impact from the space travel, where it doesn't matter because they're just essentially organic robots.
Yeah.
So, avatars, I guess.
Avatars, man.
Fucking James Cameron's onto something.
What's his name? Jake Sully?
Yeah. Was that his name?
I don't remember.
Yeah, Jake Sully.
Is it Jake Sully?
Yeah.
I saw I haven't seen the second one.
Is it Jake Sully or is it John Smith? Oh,
that's
other movie.
Ferngully.
Oh, I was saying Pocahontas.
I know.
Oh, yeah,
but Ferngully too.
Yeah, there's another fun one for you guys. If you didn't know, the first Avatar movie is Pocahontas, which is also Ferngully. They're all three the exact same movie.
Yes, they are.
The same movie. So according to the Hill's account, the aliens subjected them to a bunch of different things, right? They took, like I said, samples of their skin, their hair. They examined their eyes, nose, ears, mouth. Oh, they gave them a fucking physical? Just gave them a wellness exam? They're like, hey, you can play basketball this year, little fucking Benny. I don't know. That's the only time I ever think physicals happen is for kids to play sports.
Yeah. Because otherwise you just go in for your checkup, I guess.
Yeah, but
you're not checking everything.
No, you're not getting the fucking bend over and cough or anything like that. Let's go tickle. Ooh, cold hands today, Doc. But yeah, I don't know. So they gave him a physical. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they also performed a medical procedure on Betty's navel.
On her navel?
Which left a scar.
Really?
Yeah, left a scar. So she had a mark. Apparently, they administered a liquid or a gas through an injection, which left the Hills feeling drowsy or disoriented. So I have a problem with in this story. They gassed or drugged them. However, when they were out of their car, they were just paralyzed using space tech.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get into the thing and they have to get drugged.
They can't, if it's something that is an alien, then why can't we do it too?
Yeah, I don't know. I hate to start bursting it so like in the midst until the end, but that one just bugs me. So, they also said that they felt a sense of mental probing or communicating from the aliens if they were trying to talk to them, through telepathy, or to extract information from their minds. So they're trying to probe their minds, like the fucking Vulcan mind meld.
Oh.
They're like, your mind is my mind is your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Live long and prosper. Fucking Vulcan Spock. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is Spock. Maybe Spock was onto something. Okay. So turn that back up so I can get serious. So there's some weird shit that happened, right? So this story became pretty big. Another weird thing that was a part of this, that apparently Betty Hill, her dress was stained, right? And they took her dress. So it was stained around where they supposedly like went into like her back, because apparently they probed her all over, right?
Okay.
And they went in through her back, and there's a stain on her dress inside.
Mm-hmm.
Right
where that she said that happened.
Where that happened, right? And there's 3 spots on the dress. Okay, in the higher in the abdomen, there was a needle inserted. Well, DNA proved that the stains are Betty's blood. So she got dressed after they stabbed her and got the little droplets. Sort of a weird thing to happen if it didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're faking a story, that's a nice touch. That's a nice touch.
Hey, that's the nice beat the ball.
That is attention to detail.
Yes,
right there.
That is. Oh, they spared no expense.
No.
Yeah, this is one of those stories that it's like there's a lot going for it, but then there's a lot that isn't going for it, and you really got to start looking at the things. But now there is one other weird thing about it.
Okay.
The local air traffic towers there in that area reported something on the radar at 2:14 a.m. the night of the incident.
So there's an independent verification that something
blipped, and they don't know what it was.
Something was out there
in that same area of where this happened. So there's something from somebody else that's nothing to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of strange.
I'll bet.
It's kind of strange. More interesting, though, is when you have a very in-depth, detailed story. It's whatever, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like people, you take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But then you bring in an air traffic controller, you bring in that, and you're like, no, I mean, something happened.
Yeah.
There's something. Well, then you get attention.
Mm-hmm.
And by attention, I mean, an old friend of ours shows up.
Don't tell me.
J. Allen Hynek. Project Blue Book.
Project Blue Book.
Project Blue Book shows up, and they investigate this, and they go through it, and they look into the science of it. Let's be honest here, though. Project Blue Book was doing nothing but fucking covering all this shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what they were there to do. But they had a really stupid fucking reason. They said that they said it was nothing. It was nothing. But later, so this is the weird part, right? So they come in, they're like, it's nothing. It's bullshit.
They're lying.
They're lying. It's all bullshit. No, not there. They didn't investigate their thing. They were investigating the blip.
Oh, okay. The air traffic controller.
And it's
gotcha.
all. So they're like, no, it's fine. There's nothing going on, right? But then later in life, when all these reports became declassified,
mm-hmm.
or it came out or whatever. The report said it was a star-like object with no movement. They didn't close the case. They marked it as unknown. Yeah. So, now, of course, since this story came out and happened, it's been scrutinized up and down, left and right, and there's a lot of holes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that you could draw a line to that say that maybe they're just making all this fucking shit up.
I mean, people do it.
And they're like, well, what about the hypnotherapy? And what about, because I mean, it was pretty legit. Like they kept their story. Their story was straight and all this. And a lot of people think it all had to do with the persecution and the ridicule of the the interracial couple.
Yeah.
And so they think that all of this is sort of like a result of that. Like the pressure of all that made them crack and make up the whole damn thing. And like as time has gone on.
But I mean, you could also work the reverse way where people just don't want to believe them because they have those prejudices. I mean,
yeah,
you just never know.
Yeah, that's true. So, but the other thing that I look at, all right, is like our old friend Bob Lazar. Okay, is one thing we've known about Bob Lazar's story. Like if we look at Bob Lazar's story versus this story,
because yes, this story that you're talking about in the 60s, did it come out at the time? Okay. Yeah, so I mean, at the time there may be that backlash like that.
So here's what I look at, right? So I look at Bob Lazar's story, and then I look at he came out, he told a story, and what happened to him as a result of that, right? Bob Lazar, it fucked up his life, and it never got better. Like, I mean, he eventually got better, right? But he never, Bob never did good off of this story.
He didn't gain anything from it.
Betty Hill gained a fuckload. Like, she won on every TV show she fucking could. She wrote books and shit. She did she's the one that was fucking licensing out the story to fucking any Hollywood person that would take it. They've made TV shows and movies about this story left and right.
Wow.
She made a fuckload of money. A lot. And she was kind of people are like, Benny kind of seemed pretty legit about it, but she fucking didn't seem so legit about it. She was the mastermind of it, and it just kind of fell apart.
Really?
Yeah. So, you look at it like that, and you're like, okay, well, that makes sense. But then, what are the chances that there's no way they could have known that the air traffic controller would have seen?
No, because if you have those both together, then you've got a story. If they're each independent, especially their story independent, because you're just going off of eyewitness testimony, that kind of thing. It's just a story, but then you have this other independent verification that corroborates at least part of their story. Yep.
And then you also have the weird shit like the scars where they said it was, the 3 points that just happened. And they didn't know about this DNA thing. Like that was found after later on when people went through everything. Apparently also the ship when it landed caused damage to their car.
Really?
Yeah. So there was physical evidence of this. Now, whether they made up the physical evidence or not, who knows?
Yeah.
But that's a long way to go because I don't think they gained anything.
Hey, attention to detail.
Attention to detail. You gotta.
Hey, she sounds like a smart cookie. I don't know. I bet she could. She's selling books and all this kind of stuff. She's got a mind for business and marketing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean.
That's how you sell a story, is attention to detail.
I don't know if I believe her, but I bought her movie.
Yes. I'll watch the fuck out of it, too. Oh,
me too.
No, it sounds really good.
It's really, really good. And there's if you have History Channel or Discovery Plus or whatever, there's a really good documentary about it called the Betty and Barney Hill story. And I really recommend watching that because you can see they have The other thing that made it more credible is they come across pretty believable. Like,
Yeah.
especially when you see like the footage or hear the audio of the hypnosis, the sessions. I mean, especially fucking Benny, he sounds terrified.
Really?
Like he's screaming and
Oh God.
Oh, I tell you what. Like I'll play some for you when we're done here. You can hear it. I'd put it on here, but we'd get fucking copyright struck.
Yeah.
So look it up yourself. But it comes across pretty fucking believable. Like, ooh, you're a good actor, or fucking you got abducted. I don't take anything off the table.
No.
But I don't know. It's a pretty crazy story.
No, that is very crazy.
The first true like big documented, recorded, investigated abduction story. And I'm not one for abduction stories. Like, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's funny the things that I'm like I buy and I don't buy. Like definitely, like I believe Bob Lazar's story for sure. I believe I could even believe the MJ12 stuff. When I hear somebody talk about abductions, it's really hard for me to be like,
I don't know, because I mean, there's a lot of people with similar stories, but it's not like these stories have never been heard before. Like, they're coming up with these things independently.
Yeah.
They've obviously are aware of other stories or other happenings. But if you think about it, it's like when humans are observing and experimenting, etc., on watching a herd of buffalo or a pride of lions or something like that. We tag sharks out in the ocean so we can track, their swim patterns, etc., etc. And if we dart a lion, we're going to take some blood so we can test it. We might fix things or do something else, or look at the insects that are on the animal, take those kind of samples. So I mean, you make
a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It's just, I don't know. It's just really, it's
interesting to think about, because you got to think, okay, are these people full of shit?
Well,
and also what would be the purpose of these abductions? Is it just to see how we work, see how we tick, see what our weaknesses are, or
I think my problem with abduction stories is how the general story of the abduction ebb and flows in a pattern, right? So it's like, okay, people are getting abducted out of like their cars, and that happened for a while. Like, if you follow some of the stories, and then it's shifted, and then people are like, oh fuck, no, they're pulling me now. They're in my bedroom, and there was a whole bunch of people that said that fucking they're in their bedrooms, taking them out of their beds, and like
that's.
But the thing is,
creepy as fuck.
Right, but it's like, there a bunch of people said the same thing. Now, is it because that's what it is, or is it because one person started it and the
there's
others?
Trends
there's
within
trends.
it.
It becomes trends, and one person could argue that, well, they're being consistent. Another would say, well, no, they're not, because you would think if they're doing abductions and doing these, they would have a specific way that they do it. And they're not going to just fucking up and change.
There's a modus operandi. There's directives that they follow.
Yeah,
you would think.
Absolutely. So that's why it's hard for me. That one's hard for me. Just abductions in general are hard for me.
But some of the stories are really great.
I don't know. I just don't fucking buy them. I don't know. That being said, there is one that I fucking believe.
Oh.
And we're going to get to it next week. Thank you for tuning into U.F.O Snap. Please visit us on the web and U.F.O Snap and all the socials and all the shit and all the things. I'm Jake.
I'm Lindsay.
Goodbye.